Bao Island Storyteller, Journey to the West. Hey kids, welcome to Bao Island. On Bao Island, every story has a taste. Today's taste is orange lanterns rising into mountain dark. This episode, we're in Pingxi. Today's story, Lanterns and the Journey begins.
Welcome aboard the Bao Island bus, everyone. I'm your captain. We've come deep into the mountains of New Taipei, past the coal mining towns, along the winding river valley, to Pingxi district. We're parked right on Shifen Old Street, which is unusual because the street runs right along the old railway tracks. The train still comes through, and when it does, everyone steps aside, the vendors move their carts, and the train rolls through like a polite neighbor. Then everyone steps back.
I love this place. You're literally standing on the train tracks and that's fine.
Shifen is famous for one thing above almost everything else, sky lanterns. Every evening and all day on weekends, people write their wishes on paper lanterns, light them, and let them rise into the sky. Hundreds of orange glowing lights floating up into the dark mountain air.
I wrote one before. I wrote I want to eat everything delicious in Taiwan. Which I think I'm actually doing.
The lantern works.
The lantern works.
There's something here, something that rises with the smoke and the paper lanterns, a sweetness carried on mountain air, warm and slightly charred, drawing you down the old railway tracks toward it.
Excited, what is it? Tell me, tell me.
Take a guess.
Mouth full, let me take a bite first. Excitedly, we are not starting this episode without the sausage. I have been smelling it since the bus stopped.
Charcoal grilled sausage is everywhere in Shifen.
Excitedly, here it is, this thick, slightly sweet, pork sausage on a stick, grilled over real charcoal. The outside is dark and slightly charred, a little crispy. The inside is juicy, fatty, sweet-savory. In Taiwan, the pork sausage is sweeter than most countries' sausage. They use rice wine and sugar in the mix. You eat it with raw garlic on the side. One bite of sausage, one slice of raw garlic. It sounds strange, but it's perfect.
The garlic cuts through the sweetness.
Exactly. And the charcoal smoke gives it this deep flavor that you just can't get from a gas grill. This is outdoor food. This is mountain food.
Charcoal grilling is traditional in Taiwan. Many vendors still refuse to switch to gas because the flavor is completely different.
Mouth full, muffled, different and better.
Ready for the story?
Swallowing, so ready. Tell me about Tang Monk.
We briefly met Tang Monk at the end of last episode. But let me back up even further, because Xuanzang's story begins before he was born.
Before he was born?
His father, Chen Guanyin, was a scholar, brilliant, talented, newly married to the governor's daughter. He was traveling to his new posting when their boat was ambushed on the river. A boatman and his partner had decided to rob and murder wealthy travelers. Chen Guanyin was thrown into the water and drowned. The murderer took his identity, his wife, his job.
Shocked, that's dark.
His wife was pregnant. Trapped, terrified, she couldn't escape. She gave birth to the baby, but to protect the child from the murderer, she wrapped the infant in cloth, bit her finger until it bled, and wrote a letter in her blood. Then she put the baby on a wooden plank and pushed it into the river.
Hushed, she sent her baby down the river.
The plank floated downstream all the way to a monastery on the Yangtze. The monks heard crying, found the baby, read the blood letter, and raised him as their own.
Quietly, he was a river baby.
He grew up in the monastery. Brilliant, devoted, kind. He eventually found justice for his father, rescued his mother, became one of the most respected monks in China. And then, the emperor's search for a great monk begins. The emperor's waterland ceremony is the grandest religious event in the history of the Tang dynasty. Monks from every province, every school, every tradition all gathered in Chang'an. Days of prayers, chanting, offerings.
It sounds enormous.
And in this great gathering, Xuanzang stands apart. He's young, but his learning and sincerity are undeniable. He's chosen to lead the ceremony, to stand at the central altar and recite the prayers for all the souls of the dead.
He must have felt the pressure.
He felt it deeply. But also, and this is important, he felt it was right. He believed in what he was doing. And that belief is visible.
That's rare. When someone really believes in what they're doing, you can tell.
Quietly, you really can. On the second day of the ceremony, something strange happens. Among the crowd of monks and officials and observers, two figures appear that nobody recognizes. They're dressed as monks, one carrying something, one leading the way. They walk through the crowd to a vendor's stall and hold up an item for sale.
Who are they?
Guanyin, the bodhisattva of compassion, and her attendant Moksha, disguised as traveling monks. They've come from the Western paradise specifically for this moment.
Why is she in disguise?
Because she's testing. She wants to see if the right person is here before she reveals the mission. The item they're holding up for sale is a cassock, a monk's robe made of red and gold silk, trimmed with jewels, glowing faintly. And a staff, golden rings at the top, 9 of them.
That sounds like the most valuable thing in the market.
The price, 5,000 ounces of gold for the robe. And 5,000 for the staff.
Laughing, 10,000 ounces of gold?
The emperor's minister sees them and thinks it's a joke. But he reports it to the emperor anyway, who, intrigued, asks to see the items. The moment the emperor sees them, he knows they're extraordinary. He buys them immediately. Not to keep, to give to Xuanzang.
Quietly, so Guanyin sold the emperor the gift that was meant for Tang Monk all along.
She knew the emperor would buy. She knew he'd give it to Xuanzang. She planned every step.
Let's take a short walk. 5 minutes from the old street is Shifen waterfall.
They call it the Little Niagara.
It's the widest waterfall in Taiwan, about 40 meters across, and it horseshoes around in a curve, so the mist catches the light from both sides. On a sunny day, there's always a rainbow in the spray.
Excited, I can see the rainbow from here. There's an actual rainbow in the waterfall.
The water drops about 20 meters. The sound when you're close is very loud, almost overwhelming.
It sounds like the world is rushing.
Waterfalls appear in Journey to the West a lot. The very first one we heard about, Water Curtain Cave, was how the Monkey King got his home. Water that looks like a wall. A hidden world behind it.
And here, the journey is about to start, and there's a waterfall. The story always knows where it is.
Smiling, you're getting good at this. Back to Guanyin. After the emperor's people buy the robe and staff, Guanyin drops the disguise just slightly, just enough for the right people to see. The emperor's advisor catches a glimpse. Your Majesty, I think those monks were not ordinary people.
Did the emperor chase after them?
He sent messengers. Guanyin didn't run, she simply revealed herself properly, in full golden light, beautiful and terrifying. The emperor and all his ministers knelt immediately.
Even the emperor kneels?
For a bodhisattva? Yes. Rank means very little in that light.
Okay. Noted.
Guanyin speaks directly. She says, the scriptures of the Western paradise, the true teachings of the Buddha, they exist in India. Thousands of scrolls. They contain wisdom that could end suffering, teach mercy, save countless souls. But they are far away. Someone must make the journey to retrieve them. It is a journey of 108,000 li, tens of thousands of kilometers. Through deserts, over mountains, across rivers. 14 years. And every step of the way, there will be monsters.
Pause, she's describing the whole story.
She outlines it all, right here, at the ceremony, in front of the emperor and all his court.
And then she leaves?
She rises into the sky on a cloud and is gone.
Laughing, she drops the biggest quest hook in Chinese literature and just flies away.
That's Guanyin's style. The emperor turns to Xuanzang. He says, "Is there anyone here who is willing to make this journey? To travel to the west, through all dangers, and retrieve the scriptures?"
A long pause?
A long pause. And then Xuanzang steps forward.
Quietly, of course he does.
He says, "I will go. I will give my life if necessary. Though I am small and unworthy, I accept this mission." The emperor is moved almost to tears. He says, "If you are willing to do this, you are our master, our national teacher. We are blood brothers." And he bows to a monk.
The emperor bowed to a monk.
Because what Tang Monk was about to do was greater than anything an emperor could accomplish from a throne. Taizong understood that.
That's real respect. Not the kind you get from being in charge. The kind you give someone who's about to do something impossible. Excitedly, mochi time. There's a little shop here that makes it fresh, right in front of you.
Shifen has several shops that still do it by hand.
Excitedly, watch this. The cook takes a big ball of cooked glutinous rice dough and stretches it, folds it, stretches it again. Then she pinches off small rounds, rolls them in peanut flour, and fills some with red bean paste. The outside is white, soft, sticky, slightly cool. One bite and it just melts, soft and pillowy, with that nutty peanut powder on the outside and the sweet bean inside.
Very different from the Japanese mochi in the supermarket.
Completely different. Taiwanese mochi is softer and chewier and the peanut flavor is much stronger. The peanut flour is toasted, so it has this warm, nutty aroma. You have to eat it fresh, within an hour it starts to stiffen.
Made by hand, eaten in the moment. Exactly like today's story.
How is it like today's story?
Tang Monk's mission is only possible right now because he's young, strong, devoted. His whole life of preparation has built up to this moment. You can't save it for later.
Laughing, eating, that is either very wise or a really creative way to justify eating a third piece of mochi. Before he sets off, does Guanyin give him anything else?
She gives him 3 gifts. And this is something that will come up again very soon, so listen carefully.
I'm listening.
The first gift, the golden cassock and staff, which the emperor has already given him. The second gift, 3 golden headbands. She says, if you encounter a difficult disciple, someone powerful but hard to control, recite a spell I will teach you, and the headband will tighten on their head.
Pause, tighten on their head?
It causes headaches. Very intense ones. Until the disciple behaves.
Slowly, so she's giving Tang Monk a remote control for the headache of unruly disciples?
Laughing, essentially yes.
And who is the unruly disciple this is obviously designed for?
Pause, we'll find out next episode.
Laughing, it's obviously Sun Wukong.
Is it? There are 3 headbands.
Pause, oh. 3?
The third gift, a golden hoop, one of the headbands, pre-fitted. She says this one has already been sized for someone very specific.
She already sized it? She planned this from the beginning?
Guanyin has been planning all of this for a very long time. The ceremony, the emperor dying and being revived, Tang Monk's entire life, it's all been pointing here.
Quietly, that's either wonderful or deeply unsettling.
Both, probably. On an auspicious morning, Tang Monk mounts his horse. The emperor himself walks him to the city gate. He gives Tang Monk 3 jars of sacred earth from Guanyin. He says, the journey is long. You will see mountains and rivers greater than these. But this soil, the soil of home, is more precious than foreign gold. Take it.
That's beautiful. Take the soil of home.
Tang Monk bows one final time. The emperor watches until the figure on horseback becomes a small dot, and then disappears around the mountain.
Quietly, and just like that. He's gone.
And the journey begins.
He's going west to find the scriptures. He's going to pick up disciples along the way. And somewhere in those mountains ahead of him, under a mountain, actually, a very impatient monkey has been waiting for 500 years.
500 years, give or take.
They are about to meet.
Good time to light a lantern. The vendors are out, red, orange, yellow, blue. You write your wish with a brush, they help you hold it open, and when the hot air fills it, it rises on its own.
What would you write, Captain?
Pause, safe roads ahead.
Bridge?
May the traveler find what they're looking for.
I'm writing, may the food be worth the journey. Which I think is also a philosophy.
It really is.
The sky lantern tradition in Pingxi connects to the mining history. When the mines were active, it was dangerous, men could be trapped underground. The lanterns were signals. Launched to tell families above ground, we're still alive.
Hushed, oh. They weren't wishes originally. They were messages.
I'm alive. I'm coming home. And over time, when the mines closed and the danger passed, the tradition stayed, but it became about wishes instead. A message of hope, still rising.
Quietly, that's one of the most beautiful things you've told us.
Watch it go.
Whispering, there it goes. Up and up and up.
Time to wrap up. The lanterns are rising all around us now. The waterfall is still thundering in the distance. The mountain air is cold and clean.
Today we followed the old railway to Shifen and Pingxi, tracks running down the middle of the old street, lanterns rising into mountain dark, a waterfall wide enough to make rainbows in both directions. We ate charcoal grilled pork sausage with raw garlic on the side, and handmade mochi dusted in toasted peanut flour, soft as a cloud. And we heard about a monk chosen by fate before he was born, who stepped forward when no one else would, bowed to the journey, and set off west toward everything unknown.
The journey begins.
Next time, New Taipei Danshui, the fairy pier, the iron eggs, the tofu stuffed with noodles. And the story, Tang Monk leaves Guanyin, immediately gets captured by a tiger monster, gets rescued by a celestial official, and is taken in by a hunter whose father was also a monk. Things start badly. They will continue badly for a while.
This is going to be a rough journey, isn't it?
He gets all the way to India and back. It just takes 14 years. Softly, may your lantern rise, and your wishes find the sky. On Bao Island, stories grow up with you.